afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is your girl MC. Welcome to my vlog. Today we are going to talk about the Passive Rewards Monday. And what I'll do is open up the back end, show you exactly how it's working in the dashboard, as well in the bonus section. And we have a special treat today. What I'm going to do is invite Nicholas Leonarda onto the call, and he will talk a little bit about the Academy and what it takes to hop into either a beginner, intermediate, or advanced educational plan to learn how to institutional trade. Now, this is very in depth. It's for all learning types, and we are truly thankful to have Nicholas on board with us. Now, without further ado, let's dive right in. This is the back end of our Validus product. And inside the dashboard, what I do have here is the lifetime earning points totally, because I team build with this one account. And obviously I have 5x this one account and some of my other accounts. So it'll show up here in lifetime earning points. Now, what this account has earned so far in lifetime reward points is the accumulation, which shows up right here. And what we have here is this week moving forward, I am looking at developing my left team on the binary compensation system. And here we are in the bonuses. Currently, welcome to week number 28 and 14 of my 2 packages here. And going back into time, right from the beginning in June, first week compounding reward for the loyalty reward points was at 2.4%. And the very first week on a Monday to a Monday, the compounding reward, because the rewards wallet, it's 0. And then following the next week, it gets larger and larger and so on and so forth. Moving forward to today's date and time, I did add on to another package because I'm a team builder and it's important to not 5x one of my packages as I'm adding on more individuals into my team. So going into the present, today on Monday, the 26th, we earned $11.50 for the $500 package, which is 14 weeks in, as well as $5.76 for the package that's 20 weeks old. Now, with the compounding totally as it's increasing week by week, moving forward, I'm leaving it in the wallet, and I've received an additional $6.19 for this week's compound reward. So here we'll see this reflection here in this amount, and then when we take a look at this again on Monday, it will change again after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, what I would like you to do is to like this video, comment down below where you're tuning in from. I love finding out where my viewers are tuning in from. And also down below in the descriptor, what I've included is a Telegram link to come find me. Ask me any questions that you have about Validus, or ask, hey, Melissa, I would love to hop on a community Zoom call with you where you open up the back end live and we can go into some questions and answers. Okay, so join the link down below. I've included the Telegram link, and find me. I'm the only MC lady in the Telegram group. And without further ado, here is Nicholas. He's our lead educator. He 5x's his trades every 6 weeks, and he works with a 0.5% risk factor. Nicholas.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Nicholas Leonida. I am the lead educator for Validus, specifically covering our Forex Smart Money Concept course that we have been rolling out to the world, literally to the world. I think we're in almost every country around the world, which is quite an amazing feat, considering we've not even been live for a year. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a background on myself, so you know who I am, and why I was chosen to be the educator for Validus. So as I said, my name is Nicholas Leonida. I am by trade a teacher, teaching many different subjects such as maths, English, IT, business studies, accounting, digital marketing, lots of different subjects for about 5 years at a college in the UK. During that time, I also learnt how to trade, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey in a minute. But essentially, when I joined Validus back in, when was it, April time, I joined just as one of yourselves, looking for a project where I could look to further create another stream of income. And I got talking with one of the, with my diamond leader, who introduced me to Mansour, our president. Back then when I met him, he was our VP. And we got talking, and I explained to them my, where I came from, my trading journey, the fact that I'm a qualified teacher. And I asked him if he would allow me the honor of being the Validus educator. And here we are today. And one of the reasons I wanted to be the Validus educator for Forex was, this is one of the most important reasons, is that I noticed in the market as a student like yourselves trying to learn to trade, that it was very, very difficult to find one course where you could actually really learn something from knowing nothing up until being an expert. I couldn't find one course. And the reason I believe that that is the case is because a lot of Forex traders, they may be good traders, and they most likely are good traders, but they are not teachers. They don't know how to take the knowledge that they have and transfer that to somebody else, because it is a skill to be able to do that. And I decided that with my teaching knowledge, working in schools and being inspected by DOXXED, which is like the sort of the police for the schools in the UK, and getting the highest grade that we could get, that I felt that I was the person to be able to create a course that meant that you didn't have to do the same as me, that you didn't have to search around and buy 5, 6, 7, I think I bought on about 8 courses in total, to try and fill the gaps that were left by these teachers, or by these mentors that you see online. The reason, like I said, that I believe that there are these gaps is, number one, they don't know how to specifically teach, but also a lot of trading is done by intuition when you get to a certain level. And it's very, very difficult to teach intuition. Very difficult to teach intuition. And they essentially are winning trades, but they don't really know how they're winning the trade. So they're very good traders, but because they are unable to teach people, it's essentially they're trading on, on their intuition, on their experience in the markets. And it's very difficult to transfer this skill to somebody else. And this is why we created the Validus, or the V Mastery platform, to essentially give everybody the knowledge that they need to go from knowing nothing, I mean absolutely nothing, all the way up to an expert. And before we start on this journey about telling you our different levels of education, I just want to do a quick exercise, because a lot of trading is all about mindset, which is what we look at in the expert element of the course. But I just want everybody, for the next 30 seconds, just have a think specifically about why you are here. Why are you attending these calls? Why do you look to sign people up to Validus? Why do you want to learn to trade? Just have a little think about it. And if you're comfortable, pop it in the chat, share it with us, share your why with us. Why are you looking to make extra income? Let me know. We'll just spend 30 seconds. I'm going to go quiet now for 30 seconds and see what people say to me. Okay, 30 seconds starting from now. All right, let's have a little look. I've seen lots of people messaging and still messaging. So I'll pick a few of them out. I'll go for the first one. That person was hot on the keyboard. Democratizing financial literacy. That's a big why. So you essentially want to share financial literacy and how to gain financial literacy with, I'm assuming, your circle or your family, your friends, the world. What else have we got? To learn how to make extra money. So people who are talking about money, that's a big why. Try and go a little bit deeper. Why do you want that money? Obviously, we want money. Everybody wants money. I want money. Josh wants money. Our translators, Yang and Federica, want lots of money. But why do they want money? It's really, really important question. And this is the difference between people who make it in whatever they want to do, because it's not just Forex, it's not just Validus. There's lots of ways to make money, obviously, but be understanding why they do it. So, for example, you want money, which is fantastic, but why do you want that money? What do you want to do with that money? That's what your why is. Do you want to buy fancy cars? Do you want to lift your family out of poverty? Do you want to buy a house? Whatever it is, why is so important. Don't focus on how, focus on why, because the how you're going to do it will just stop you doing it because it's so complicated. For example, if you want to learn to trade, we've got here our 8 levels of education. Yeah, our 8 levels of education, starting from V50 up to V10,000. You see here, all these titles are different lessons. How are you going to learn to trade? Could seem very scary. It could stop you from doing it. But if you think about why you are doing it, that will push you through. Okay. So just to get back on track, we've got 8 levels of education. When I joined Validus, the first thing I did was write something called a scheme of work. It's basically a plan of how we're going to roll out our education. Okay. And we started from the V50 up to V250. These used to be formerly known TPs. Obviously, we're going our rebranding. This is our introductory element of the course. So in the V50, we look at the basics. What is Forex? Okay, so if a lot of people ask me, Nick, is this beginner friendly? Yes, it most definitely is. What is Forex? That's where we start. What is a candlestick? What is a trend? What platforms do you need to use to trade? What brokers do you need to use? What is a broker? How do you find a good broker from a bad broker? What indicators are there, etc., etc. We then start to look, as we go into the V100 and V250, some basic concepts such as support resistance, trend lines, Fibonacci, analyzing the charts from a higher time frame to a lower time frame. So all of these are covered in our introductory element of the course. So if you buy the V250 package, that gives you access to everything below that. Okay, and obviously gives you access to our community, which is currently on a Discord server. But when we release our new V Mastery platform, everything will be embedded on there. Okay, then as we move up to the advanced element of the course, this is where we start to look at our smart money concepts. So just very quickly, what is smart money? Smart money is essentially, doesn't mean it's clever or anything like that, by the way. And it essentially means that this is how the institutions trade. This is how the big players are putting their orders into the market. So we don't trade. Let me just rephrase that actually. Smart money looks to spot when the big players are entering the market. So the big players are banks, hedge funds, other financial institutions, and they are the ones who move the market. They put a buy and that will shoot the market up. If they put a sell, it will shoot the market down for a certain amount of time. Now, our job as smart money traders is to spot when they're entering and enter when they come back to mitigate their position. And I'm going to explain what that is in a minute. Now, in the V500, we look at the 3 pillars of smart money concepts. This is liquidity, manipulation, and imbalances, which is very important. And I'll give you a little insight when we jump on the charts shortly. When we move up to the V1000, you get access to all the different methods that we use to trade. So the importance of the time of day that we trade, the algorithm of the market. If you think the market is a computer program, it's programmed and it produces these little bars or these candles on your screen. If it was not a computer program, it would not appear like that on your screen. The market itself needs to do certain things in accordance with its programming, because it's all maths. Computer programming is all maths and equations, and these equations must balance. So when we look at the algorithm, it's a really good lesson, that one. We look at in depth how the market works and why it does what it does. And that will change the way you see the market. We look at what confluence is, what equilibrium is, lots of different institutional smart money concepts. In the V1000, you get access to our first weekly call, which is on a Monday at 5 p.m. UK time and lasts for 1 hour. And we essentially look at one strategy or one concept of smart money each week. Last week, we looked at liquidity and the importance of managing your risk, and how you can lose, you can take 10 trades, you can lose 50% of those trades, but with the correct risk management and risk to reward. So every time you win maybe 4%, 5%, maybe more. Whereas every time you lose 1%. If you take 10 trades, you lose 5, you already know you've lost 5%. But of the 5 that you win, if on average you get 4% reward per trade, on average, some are a lot more, some are a tiny bit less, but let's say we be conservative. On average, you make 4%. On those 5 trades, you've done 4, 8, 12, 16, 20%. And on the other 5 trades, you've lost 5%. So you are up 15%, even though you've lost half your trades. And this is where risk management is really important. And that's where what we went over on Monday's call. As you move up to the V3000, this is where we start to look at the individual strategies that you can use to trade smart money. So everything up until then is all about the concepts, how it works. In V3000, we put it all together and create trading strategies that will help you profit. And in these strategies, I create step-by-step guides, and I'll show you them after in a few minutes. Step-by-step guides on exactly what you need to do to enter a trade, where you put your stop loss, where you exit your trade, and what you need to see to actually make the trade valid. And in the V3000, you get access to the session open call, which is a London call. It is at 7:15 a.m. UK time. And this is when London session opens. It's very early for a lot of the world, but we have to be awake and trade when the sessions are opening, because that's when a lot of volume enters the market. So we look to take a trade together. We analyze the charts and we see if we can enter a trade together. As we move along into the V5000 and V10000, this is the expert element of the course. And this is where we start to look at psychology. So the little exercise that we looked at about your why is that important? We go over that. We look at how to remove negative thoughts from your mind, because everybody in this call will have thoughts that are negative. You might enter a trade and straight away you think, oh, why did I enter that trade? I'm stupid, I keep doing this, etc., etc. Those thoughts will keep you from becoming a successful trader. And we're currently developing this element of the course, and you can imagine it has taken a lot of time because it is very, very important. It's easy to learn a strategy. It's easy to learn how to trade. It's very difficult to master your own mind, your own emotions. And this is what we look at from V5000 and up. We also look at more in-depth trade management, risk management, the power of compounding, why it's important to journal your trade, including the emotions that you're feeling when you're trading. We are able to create a tailored trading plan for you. And we are also introducing shortly fundamental analysis, because a lot of people on the internet say fundamentals don't work. Fundamentals are the news, essentially, the economic situation. Fundamentals are what drives the direction of the market. Okay, so if, let's say, for example, the economy in the UK is doing badly, the pound will obviously do badly, and vice versa. So it will drive it in a direction. Now, we use our technical analysis. We use all our strategies to get the entries and the exits. In the V5000, you get our final weekly call, which is our weekly trade recap call. This is where we look over the trades that we've taken, and we essentially see what we've done well, see what we didn't do as well, so that we can eliminate the things that we didn't do well. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people trade, lose a trade, and don't think about why they lost that trade, and then they go and do the same thing again, and the same thing again, and again, and again. And I don't want that to happen to people on the V Mastery course. Okay, and this is why we created the course. We created the course to give you that one-stop shop. You don't need to go anywhere else. Yeah, you basically learn everything you need to learn. You get all the support you need. There is no gaps. There is nothing missing, because we say everything that you need. And we're, if there's any questions, we're here to answer questions almost 24/7 in the Discord. It is quiet at the moment because smart money concepts don't work that well when the banks are closed. And as we're over, Christmas, New Year's, the institutions are closed. So last week in the weekly trade recap call, I didn't take any trades. So we essentially did a mindset call. And I think the people on that call found it very, very helpful. And it was like a shortened version of the course that's going to be coming for the V5000. Then we look at the V10000, and this is where things can get life-changing. So once you've mastered your mindset, once you've mastered the strategies, you then need the capital. If you trade a $1,000 account and you make 10% a month, and you do that every month for 6 months, 9 months, a year, you've taken that $1,000 account, you've put 10%, you've grown it by 10%, so you made $100. Then the next month, you've grown it by 10%, you've made $110, and so on and so forth. Now, for most people, that $100 is not going to do much for them, unfortunately. And this is where capital comes into it. In the V10000, we give you our funding assistance, okay? And this essentially is all the guidance and mentorship that you need, because getting a funded account from a prop firm essentially is a company that you pass a test with to show that you can trade, and they give you an account of $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000, and you trade with that money, but you have to pass the test. The test is a marathon. It's 2 months that it takes on average to pass. You could do it slightly earlier, but it is up to 2 months that it takes. And you can imagine you're going through a variety of different emotions. You're trading big money for the first time, most likely. You are having to trade and not actually make any money for those 2 months if you're just focusing on the challenge. So it's quite difficult. And we give you all the guidance that you need to pass that challenge. Okay. Now you can imagine once you've passed that challenge, just imagine this. You've made 10% a month for 6 months. On your $1,000 account, that's $100. If you compound it, it will go up to whatever it goes up to. Imagine now you have $100,000 account and you continue to make 10% because you don't change anything you do. Just because you get a bigger account, you don't change anything. All you do is change your lot sizes, but your percentages stay the same. So now if you make 10% every month, that $100,000 account is paying you $10,000. I hope you can see that if you are able to trade $1,000 account and make 10% a month for 6 months, you should be able to trade a $100,000 account and do the same thing. The only difference is the money is 10 times greater or 100 times greater. Sorry, not 10 times, 100 times greater. So you're making $10,000 a month. And I'm sure for 90% or 99% of people on the call, that's life-changing sums of money. Yeah. So to do this, you need to have a strong why. And as I said, let's have a look at a few more people's whys before we move on. To become financially free and help others around me. That's a great why. To learn and have financial freedom. Freedom. A lot of people, freedom. New skills. To make generational wealth. That's one of mine. Chidinma. That's one of mine. Generational wealth. Why? Not because I want to have a statue outside my house for the next 200 years, but because my family is a comfortable family. And comfort is our biggest enemy. Comfort stops you from trying to exit the rat race because you're comfortable. You work, you eat, you buy a few nice things, you watch Netflix, you sleep, you do the same thing over and over again. Comfort is your biggest enemy. So I have a comfortable family. I've had a comfortable life, but I've made sure that through learning trading, through being the Validus lead educator, that I've taken myself out of my comfort zone so that I can grow. And I'll be honest with you, in the last year, I have had exponential growth compared to the last 33 years of my life. And that's because I've taken myself out of my comfort zone. So these are things that we teach in the course. Now, as I said, as I'm a teacher, I don't want to just give you video courses, okay? We have provided you not just with video tutorials that you, I'm sure, have all watched. We give you live webinars such as this and such as the other free calls that I spoke about. In those calls, they're very personal. So you can talk to me. You can ask me questions. You can unmute yourself. Unfortunately, in this call, you can't because there's too many people. Everyone will be shouting. Every lesson has a PowerPoint presentation that you can download. You can read. You can print. We have information sheets such as what is consolidation. And I mean, every lesson has different sheets available. We have guides like this guide here. We have quizzes where you can conduct quizzes. The reason we've done quizzes is because not everybody learns through watching something. Some people learn through doing, and a quiz allows you to do something so that you can consolidate your learning. Some people don't learn through me listening to me. Some people will need to read. That's why we've created materials that allow you to read. In the near future, we will have interactive videos. These are like games that you'll be able to play. You can imagine watching a video that's 15 minutes long can get a little bit boring sometimes. An interactive video will keep you on your toes. You'll be able to click answers within that video, which will take you to a different branch of the video. So you are learning at your own pace. If you didn't understand, say you got the question wrong and you didn't understand something, it will take you to a little recap. It won't be the exact same thing that I've already said. It will be something slightly different because obviously you didn't understand it that first time. So there's lots of things that we are developing. We are not a YouTube course. We are a fully blown academic course. Okay, and that's why, and that's what I wanted to create for Validus. So very quickly, before I introduce our guest today, Mr. Josh Martinez, I'm just going to show you some of our concepts, what we do to look for a trade. So I'm just going to quickly show you. Let me just get to trading view. Bear with me 1 second while I just get up to the correct time frame. Oh, this is a really good one. Brilliant. Today, what I'm going to talk about, let me just reshare the screen, is liquidity. And I'm going to explain what that is. So hopefully you can all see this. Let me know if you can't. I'm just going to double check. This, by the way, so I've just seen in the chat room, my why is bigger than me. I want a peaceful old age without the fear of not having a place to live or how to pay for my healthcare. Diana, that is a fantastic why, because that will keep you going through the hardships. And I'm sure Josh, when he shares, a bit about himself, will tell you there is hardships. It's not easy to become successful. It's not easy to stop working the 9 to 5. And if I'm honest with you, stop working the 9 to 5 doesn't mean that you work less. In fact, it means that you work more, but you work more for yourself. And you know that the extra work you put in is going to be for your financial future. So just very quickly, I got carried away there. That was a nice one. Just very quickly, liquidity, what is it? So if you see, let me move this. And this was actually a trade that I discussed in our Thursday weekly session open call. So what we have here is an area of liquidity and another area of liquidity. What is liquidity? Now, some people will call this a support line, a trend line. Yeah. Some people will call this a trend line. I mean, a lot of people, this is a trend line. This is a support line. So this is essentially an area where price bounces, broke through, come back up, bounced up again, bounced up, etc., came back and looks like it's going to bounce up again. This is a support zone. So price is being supported here. Now, the fundamental difference between standard retail concept and smart money is that we see these areas of support as liquidity. What do I mean by that? I mean that people have their stop losses here. People have, this is almost equal lows, double bottoms. People have their stop losses here. People are buying from this area. Why do we know people are buying? Because each time it comes here, it goes up. Each time it comes here, it goes up. Here, up. Here, up. Wick down again, up. So people are buying here. There is liquidity here. This is people's orders, people's stop losses. The market needs to seek these stop losses and take them out to be able to move in the direction it needs to move. It's not the institutions, it's not the big players that are hunting your stops. They don't make money from taking you out of the market. But let's say there's a big order that needs filling, yeah, a buy. But too many people are buying. Too many people are buying from this area. So if the market is going to go up, it needs to manipulate those people out of their buy positions. Why? Because there needs to be roughly an equal amount of buyers to sellers. There needs to be an equal amount of buyers. If there's somebody asking for remote control to control the screen, if you could just stop doing that, please. Thank you. It needs to take these buyers out of the market, because if there's too many buyers, it needs to take them out before it can process a big order. Okay, so what happens is it will do a shallow run to take out the people. So from here, people were buying, it's taken them out of the market. This is on the 1 hour, so obviously this is quite a big zone. Then it's tapped off of this area, shot up, and then come back down. And if we see here, gone below. Now, it doesn't need to go miles below. It doesn't need to go 30, 40 pips below. It just needs to go far down enough to liquidate people's stop losses. So what I mean by that is people have their buy limits here. And originally they might have their stop loss down here. But as they see these people that were ordering down here, these people that were buying from here, as they see price move away so much, they'll move their stops to bring it smaller, or they'll move their stop to break even. That's what you're taught to do. And that's why you get these shallow runs. When these people that are buying are taken out of their market, they're actually buying, they're selling their position for a loss. This influx of sellers allows the big institutions to buy. And this is what we look for. And right here, there wasn't an entry, but we know that if it's taken this liquidity, the next step is to take the liquidity above. So it'll go from liquidity to liquidity. And even if it's moving down, it still needs to go up. Those retracements up are taking liquidity. So this trend line here, people are selling, people are selling, people are selling, people are selling, selling. And then the final time it comes here, it breaks through. Yeah. Now, if we drop down onto the 15-minute time frame, we look at the institutional candle, the last down before liquidity was taken. Yeah, the last down before liquidity was taken, before we broke through the trend line. And now we're going to ride it up to around 90% of the high. Yeah, about here. 90%. The high is the overall high of this trend is here. We're going to take it to about here. Hence why I've got my TP here. Now, this is a trick candle. This candle has tricked people into believing that price is going to sell off, okay, because it's a rejection. What happens? Price breaks through. This is where the institutions are tricking people, okay? This is where they're tricking people. So they are selling so that they can buy. And what they do, they buy up, and then as price retraces back, they don't want to lose the institutions. The big players don't lose. They will close their sell orders off. Okay, and this is where we're looking to get in. When they close their sell orders, it essentially creates an influx of buys because somebody has to buy their sells. Yeah, somebody has to buy from them for them to sell. This creates an influx of sales. They're buying and we're buying at the same time because we're buying with them. And this is where you get that aggression. And we enter within the course on the 1 minute time frame. Obviously, I can't really share that because this is a free call. Otherwise, there'll be no point in people buying the course. But this is the 15-minute entry. We enter on a 1 minute with a very small stop loss. This is how big the stop loss was, 3.2 pips. And we're targeting here, essentially, the high, the close of this high, not the wick, the close. We're targeting that. And this is what we did. And here we go. This is a 1 to 22.88% trade, 1% risk, 23% gain on account in about 2 days. Okay. And my philosophy is that I would close at about 5 p.m. I'd close 80% of my trade at about 5 p.m. So about here, 5 p.m. UK time. Even that is 1 to 17%. Okay. A huge trade, targeting liquidity and making sure that we are getting in with the banks. So that's it from me. I hope you took value from this. I'm going to hand over now.
Thank you, Nicholas. One more thing I wanted to show you is in the wallets. It's important to keep the money accumulating in the reward wallet. This is the amount that goes to the compounding area, which is the third line that I had showed you earlier. Thank you, Nicholas, for presenting and talking about the Academy and about each one of the 8 packages moving forward from beginner to advanced and how individuals can learn throughout our Trading Academy. Also, returning viewers, thank you very much. Welcome new viewers. Down below, I have a descriptor where there's a Telegram link. Jump into that link. DM me directly. I'm the only MC lady in the group. Let me know your questions. ask me to hop on to a Zoom call, either privately, or I can invite you to the community Zoom meeting where we open up the back end and show you loads and loads of compounding every single week and how other members have earned within our team. Okay, looking forward to seeing you on the next vlog. Your girl MC signing off for today.